morning, everyone. Welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping in, and I hope you'll take a moment to click that subscribe button and ring the bell so that you'll know when other videos go up. You'll find a little bit of everything of creativity on my channel, from mixed media, junk journaling, paper crafting, scrapbooking, to financial planning and budgeting, and planning in general. So if any of those fall into your interests, I hope you'll continue to come back. Today is Tutorial Friday, and we are working with the Mixed Media Art Cream Paste from Stamperia, and we're also using one of their molds. I have 3 more on order, but this is the only one I had to work with. But I'm going to show you that you can still use this cream paste even if you don't have the Stamperia molds. So let's get started. First off, I mentioned in my video yesterday, I was going to show you how to avoid this. This is what happens when you don't have enough of the cream paste on your mold, okay? And we will get to that in a second on how to spread it. First, I have this one that was drying all night long that I want to show you how to take it off. Now, I did not go all the way to the edge on this one like I should have. But if you go all the way to the edge of your mold, then you can come back and edge it off with your palette knife and find yourself a starting point. This almost has the feel of latex, but all you need to do is just find a way to get up underneath, pick your way along the edge. Now, I like to go top to bottom just because that works best for me, but you do want to make sure that that edge is clean before you start pulling, because otherwise you're going to tear your edge. So make sure your edge is clean. And I'm going to have a couple spots here that are probably going to tear on me, but that's okay, because it's the edge. I'm going to cut around it for the most part anyway. Okay, but I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to start working my way up around an edge. And I'm going to go all the way across the top, peeling that edge up. Okay. Come back over here. Now, if you'll notice, you can still see the impression of the folder on the background. That's what you want to try to avoid. By the time I'd done my 2 samples, I was starting to run out of cream paste. So when you order 1 bottle, order 2. Just saying, order 2. Now, I purchased my mold and my cream paste from Spectrum Art Creations, and I'll link their channel and their website down below. Since this is Friday, now this isn't quite dry. You can see it's still sticking in the mold. So I probably should have I should have done this one a little earlier yesterday, instead of thinking last night at 5 o'clock that I didn't have this done. So I'm probably going to ruin this one, just so you know. But all you want to do is just get a hold of it and just work your... Yeah, this one's not dry enough. This one is not dry enough. It's not going to dry. It's not going to pull. When it's completely dry, just walk it down really easy. And wherever it's not dry and it's thin, it's going to tear. So I don't have the best example for you, okay? Let it dry a good 24 hours before you try to peel it off. Let's see what happens if we go down here on this end. I think it's still going to be too wet. I should have laid this over under the fan last night. But that's okay, because you're seeing what happens if you don't let it dry completely. Because you can see how it's still stuck in the mold. It's not releasing. So this one needs to dry more, okay? So I'm going to set that one off to the side. And I'm going to show you a couple that I did do ahead of time, plenty far ahead of time, that have had time to dry. When you peel it off, this is what it looks like. And this is my art one. And see, this was too thin up near the top here. I needed to go a little heavier here. But this is where it was up at the top around the hole. Now you'll see a gap down here. I'm going to show you what I did. I cut that piece out. But when it's completely dry, see the detail that you get. You can still read the sentiment. Make your life a true work of art. You can see the detail in the flowers. Everything comes out really crisp when you let it dry completely. You can even see the bristles in the brush here. So this is what it looks like when you peel it off the mold. Now I did do a couple of others. One of them was the Tim Holtz 3D Impressions folder. That is this one here, Impresslets, that makes the medallions. And that would be this one here. And to show you, this Impresslets folder came with dies for each of the 2 sizes of medallions, and they cut beautifully. As you can see here, this is cut out beautifully with the die. So you can cut it with scissors, you can cut it with your dies. I would not recommend using a punch, simply because I'm afraid it's going to gum up. I've got a less expensive punch down here. Let's see what happens. Here is a Paper Studios punch, and let's see if we can get part of this to punch out down here. I want to save that medallion. Let's see what happens. Now see, it doesn't really fit into there very well, so you're not going to want to use your punches. And because it's flexible, I'm afraid it's going to gum up your punch. So I don't recommend using punches, okay? Now, then I did this one. This was a Stampin' Up 3D embosslet folder that has a seagrass pattern to it. Now it looks like, and I was thinking about this morning, your embossing folders have a positive and a negative, and I think what I did was I spread on this one, so I got the negative imprint. Instead of embossing it, I got the deboss. I should have put it on this one so that let's see, this is the one I put it on. This is the one I put it on. I put it on the deboss so that everything is down in, whereas if I'd have put it on this side, these little leaves and the grasses would have been raised like this, okay? So that's going to make a difference, but you can use your 3D embossing folders to do this with. And I'm going to spread one today. I have to go with this because I can't pull this out. I can't reuse this mold till this completely dries. And I'm limited. All I have done is this one, this one, this one, and these two. And I've used most of a 150 milliliter container of the paste. Okay. There's what I have left. Not a lot. I should have looked to see if I had a spatula handy over here that I could scrape. There it is. I knew I had one over here that I could scrape this out with. I love my Teflon spatulas for working in the craft room. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, let's find out which side of this. Okay, this I can feel the texture, which means it's going to deboss. It's going to leave the impression in. This one's going to give me the raised, because I can't feel the flowers. So I'm going to use it on this. Now, if you've ever decorated a cake, think of this like decorating a cake. And I'm probably not even going to do all of this. I'm going to do part of it. You want to think of this as decorating a cake. You always go back and frost and do a crumb cake. Do a crumb coat first. And you want to make sure, I got to hold this up. You want to make sure that you get all your little nooks and crannies filled in. See how I rake that off? I've got to go back and make sure I've got that covered. Okay, come towards you apparently. It works better. If you try to go this way, you're going to wind up pushing it off. As I said, I'm not going to do the whole thing because I'm going to run out before I get this whole thing covered. Because once you go through and do what we call a crumb coat in cake decorating, you're going to go back through and do a top coat, which would be your finishing coat on your cake. This is the coat where you would put your, start doing your decorating. So think of your cream paste as your royal icing, and I'll tell you, it's pretty much the thickness and texture of royal icing. So then you want to come back through, and you want on top of your crumb coat to come back and do a heavier coat. The idea is hopefully, and I don't think it's going to work with mine because I'm running low here, you want to make sure you get a coat on here thick enough that you can't see your impression. Okay, it's okay if you've got streak marks, whatever on there, because you're not going to see that anyway, because that's going to be your backing. But you do want to make sure that you get a thick enough coat on there that you cannot see your impression. Okay, just like that. Clean up your edges. Okay. And I have just about wiped that out. I'm glad we have sale at Madi's tomorrow, because I'm going to need a couple more jars. Though I will probably just order one for now, because I've got other projects going on. I'm not going to be playing with this as much. So that's okay. But that's what you do. You spread it on there, a thin coat first, which is your crumb cake, which makes sure you cover in all of your impressions. Then go back and do it with a second coat. Now you don't want to let it dry in between. You want to do it almost immediately, so that if you've missed any crevices, you'll get those back. Excuse me, you'll get those back when you run your second coat over. So do your first coat, then go back and do your heavier coat so that you don't see your impressions. And that's all there is to doing this. And I'm going to lay this over here and hope I don't mess it up before I get a chance to move it over to the other end of the room. Okay, so now we've got these. What do we do with them? I'm going to show you how to do a tag and a card with this. Now I'm using the Creative Art for my card. And I have cut a piece of Stampin' Up! Daffodil Delight cardstock. And I thought this paper was appropriate. It's from our retired set, Follow Your Art. And let's see, where's my tape runner? My tape runner vanished. I thought it was over here. It vanished. Now you can use any kind of glue. On the tape runner's right in front of me. I would use a liquid glue on this. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Tombow Mono liquid glue and just run it around here and put my mat on my card. Squiggle, squiggle, squiggle. If you've watched my card videos, you know the squiggle technique. And I'm going to set this right here. My card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then I have cut the mat 4 inches by 5 1/4. That almost needs a little bit of glue under there. Let's do that. Imagine me this early in the morning and I'm in frame. My sister will be so proud of me. Okay, so we have a card base, and now I have taken a piece of Pacific Point cardstock and another piece of this Follow Your Art paper, and I'm going to mat the two of those together just like this. I thought this piece was appropriate because it's got the palette knife. It has the palette knives on it. Okay, and then to show you just how easy this cuts, I'm coming in here with just regular scissors, and I'm going to cut out the word creativity. Now I probably should have inked this before I started cutting, but that's okay. We can come back and do that. That's not a problem. Okay, so we have our 2 cardstock pieces. We have these. Let's go ahead and nip off that flower right there. Okay, and I'm going to trim this back just a little bit more. Okay, now I could leave this as the white, but I want this to stand out. So I'm going to use, I would use my Pacific Point, but I'm going to bring in my Night of Navy ink because it's here. Let me get a baby wipe. I am sticky everywhere. That's what happens when I use the Tombow Mono Glue. I get it everywhere. My hands are sticky for hours. Get me a paper towel here and dry my hands off. Okay, now, all you need to do is take any of your ink pads, and this will take ink beautifully. Now this was textured, remember, so it's not going to cover completely because you've got crevices in there. That's just the way they designed this one. Not so sure with what my Night of Navy isn't wearing out either. Nope, it's good. Pacific Point might have been a little brighter, but I'm not sure if I have a Pacific Point that I can get to. Let's see what I've got. No, it's the one color I do not have handy. Of course it is. Of course it is. So let's... I'm looking for something that's really going to make that pop, and I'm not liking that color on there at all. So let me see. I have another table over here in my way where I've been working on yet another project. I'm looking for, there it is. I'm looking for my Memento Black, and let's go ahead and use it. That makes it pop a little more. That Night of Navy just wasn't dark enough on there, I don't think. But you can see the dimples. You can see the dimples in the lettering. You're not going to get those covered. So don't worry about that. Okay, and then we're going to go back, add our glue to the back. Bring this down here where I can get to it. And I cut this at 3 3/4 instead of 4 1/4. So let's see if we can, Now that's going to take a little bit to dry, simply because that's a smooth surface, slick surface, porous surface that you have it on the back of, okay? But I'm going to see, let's just do this. I really want to fix this. I really, really want to fix this. And I don't think I'm going to be able to. We'll see. That really had a chance to glue down there. But I think I can. I think I can. Close enough. Close enough for this one. We can come back and color that in with a Night of Navy marker. And then this lets you put some dimension on your cards, but not quite so much texture that it's hard to put it through the mail. And that's that easy. You can use it on greeting cards, and now you can use it on tags. Where's my napkin again? That's not my wet one. I need my wet one. Looks kind of frosty out there this morning. My grass has a white tint to it, but I don't think it's snow. I think we just got a good frost last night. Okay, now let's do a tag. I have cut this already. I think it's like 3 by 5. Okay, and let's cover the whole thing. Let's see. Let's play with this one a little bit more, and then we'll cover the tag. For things that you can color with, here I have used the Finnabar Patina Green and the Finnabar Firebird on this one. I've also used the metallic gilding polishes, and I'm going to be doing a video on these soon. They come with a sponge in the top of the cap. Just do you a little dab, and I want to dab off here a little bit, and just come in with a swirl motion and cover this in. Got a little bit of gilding wax in the top of my lid here. Let's pull from it. And I'm going to show you something with this gilding polish in a minute. But what you want to do is go in a swirling motion, and that's going to let you get into your crevices. Just like that. If I got enough there, I do. I have enough. Let's make sure we have enough all the way over. Now, when it comes to these sponges on here, you can wash them. You don't have to. They will get a little hard. So I will probably come back and wash that later or brush that off onto another piece. But then we want to cut this down to 3 by 5. I don't want to use my trimmer because it's going to catch in those grooves. So I'm just going to do a rough cut here. Like that. And let's see how this... Oh yeah, this is going to work lovely. But I want to make sure that I get it down through the center of that good, because I know I'm going to come back and trim this off. But there's my double-sided tape. And let's cover the side of this box here. And I'm just going to kind of position it to where it's centered. And yeah, I know it's not centered, but I want to make sure that I get to one edge, and then I can come back and I can trim this off, just like that. Probably should have used my sticky scissors there since I have tape runner. So you can make cards, you can make tags or spots for journaling journals. You can make embellishments. And I know that's not square, and it's probably never going to be. Okay. But there I have a tag. And then I can come back in and make an embellishment, and I can glue that down. And I am going to use the liquid glue on that one, and I'll show you why in just a minute. But this is one of the medallions from Tim Holtz. And I really need... There we go. Spread that out a little bit. And put it down there in the corner. And then let's see what I have for bling to put in the center of that. There's a nice big rhinestone we can put in the middle. I'm going to put a little dollop of glue, just a dot, right in the center of that medallion. I don't want a bunch. And where's one of my picky tools? I lose my picky tools so fast. I think I have like 6 of these from Dollar Tree, spread all over pencil holders and spots in my office. And there you have made a tag. We can come back and clip off a corner, do our reverse, like that. Now, because I have this backed with the cardboard, I can come back in with a punch and punch that now, I think. So let's try our standard hole punch. See, because it's not flimsy anymore, it's backed by that cardboard, I could do that. And let's see what I have over here. Let's come back and add some of this. I've got a tail here somewhere. Oh yeah, that'll be pretty. Get my yarn scissors. And I'm going to double this up. And if you don't know the trick, I've got one here somewhere, I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah. Take your crochet hook and come through your hole to pull your loop through for your fibers. And then you can pull them through like that. And you're not fighting with getting that through the through the hole in your tag. And then you can come back through, clip those, and we have a tag. So let's clear up our area here. I have a lid. I have garbage galore. Crafting is so much fun, but it can be so messy. And I'm going to just lay some of this stuff over here. Okay, so we have gone from this to this, and then we have taken part of it and created a tag and an embellishment and a card. And I have one more quick one for you. I told you I'd show you what was down here. There was a heart down here, and I have cut it out. And I've used paint, and where did I have my paint? There it is. I have moved stuff around, and I was able to put a dollop of paint. Where am I at? There we go. Oh, come on, out of there. No, I didn't want that much, but it'll work. Okay, and a brush. And let's get a stray piece of cardstock here. This is a piece of box tag here. And you can use your inks, depending on the color of your ink, the strength, the intensity of your ink. I liked using paint. I got a better color with it than I did with the inks. But you can color the whole thing and stamp with it. You can cut out pieces. I cut out the heart. Now the only thing you want to make sure is, this is like using a, the word I'm looking for, silicone stamp, clear stamp. So whenever you do a clear stamp, get a hold of it. You want to make sure that you have like a mouse pad or a piece of craft foam underneath, because that helps pick up what you lack in depth from a rubber backed stamp, okay? And we're going to press that down, and this lets you press. Now remember, you have divots in these images, so you want to press good in the center because you have an edge around everything. And then lift it up, and I think my paint dried, I think is what happened while I was looking for my foam mat. So let's do another one really quick. And I'll have pink fingers this morning. So let's do that again. Press down. But you want to really give it a good press. And we'll see how that one did with the newer paint on it, because that paint dried pretty quick. And there you go. Now you can stamp with your items from your cream paste molded images. So that's it for how to apply and what to do with your images from your molds and your Stamperia mixed media art cream paste. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down down below the description box. And remember to check out Madi's Spectrum Art Creations link. Their store link is down below. If you are not subscribed to their newsletter, I encourage you to go to their website, sign up for their newsletter. You're only going to get 1, possibly 2 emails a week. On Friday, her husband Bernie emails us secret words that we put into chat at specific times to try to win prizes during their live sale on Saturday. And then come back to their YouTube channel on Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we run a live sale from roughly 9 to 10 hours. They bring in the best prices. They do awesome shipping. They also have their store, so if you order from their store and during the live sale, just make a note in your order box that you purchased during the live sale, and they will refund you the shipping on your online order. You never pay shipping twice. So that's really cool. I mean, they really look out for us, and that's why I spend probably way too much money with Spectrum Art Creations online live sales on Saturday. So come back and see us, and I hope to see you there. Oh, and if you come into the sale, tell them Kelly sent you. because that will put you and me both in a drawing for $5 off our order if we're present when they draw. So they get 5 invitations into the group. They will do a drawing, and each person in that drawing will get $5 off their online order, or on their online order. So make sure you tell them Kelly sent you, and I will see you back here. Oh, I am not doing shop Saturday tomorrow. I would rather spend the time getting stuff ready for the shop. So I will try to squeak that shop video in later in the week to show you what I have done. It may just be a pop-up video really quick, but I want to devote the rest of the day today to getting the stuff ready for the shop rather than trying to show you what's going into the shop when I don't have everything ready yet. So had an excruciating headache yesterday, and I lost most of yesterday's work time. So I'm having to play makeup today, so I hope you'll excuse me for that. But I will be back here on Sunday for Stampin' Up! Sunday, where we are making kids' Valentines using the Awesome Otters stamp set. In the meantime, remember to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, creative blessings.